Stocks on Wall Street plunged Thursday. The Dow fell 1,600 points. The Nasdaq tumbled 1,050, and the S&P 500 was down 274. Its biggest one-day loss since 2020. Well, this comes a day after President Trump announced sweeping tariffs against other nations.
Anchor Anthony Antoine is in studio with us with world reaction to the president's newly enacted policies. Anthony.
Yeah, Rashi and Caroline, the U.S. is imposing tariffs of 10% on imports from all countries and much higher tariffs on about 60 countries, including China and the European Union, fueling global recession fears. Some world leaders are calling for negotiations while others are vowing retaliation. Markets plunging at home and overseas after President Trump announced tariffs on dozens of countries. The White House is urging patience, saying the plans will boost U.S. production and benefit Americans.
I think it's going very well. It was an operation like when a patient gets operated on, and it's a big thing. But
global leaders are less optimistic, and they're now scrambling to soften the blow to their economies.
Negotiations on an economic prosperity deal, one that strengthens our existing trading relationship, they continue.
A blanket 10% tariff is going into effect on Saturday, while a previously announced levy on auto imports went into effect overnight. Canada's prime minister says his country will copy that approach and impose a 25% tariff on all vehicles imported from the U.S.
The president's actions will reverberate here in Canada and across the world.
And on Capitol Hill, there's now a bipartisan effort to rein in President Trump's tariffs. Senators Chuck Grassley and Maria Cantwell have introduced a bill that would require the president to explain the reasoning and impacts of any new tariffs to Congress within 48 hours of going into effect.
We think Congress should reassert its role and have those policies come before Congress for review and approval.
Well, the legislation also calls for new tariffs to expire after 60 days unless Congress explicitly approves then. And coming up in our second half hour, an economist offers an outlook for the stock market and the chances that the country is headed for a recession. Caroline?